Sorry if the audio didn't work. I didn't check to make sure it was I didn't check to make sure it wasn't working. So hopefully now the audio is working somewhat. Let me see. All right, yep, that sounds good. So hey, we got audio now. So now we can actually talk about the forecast being pretty good. There it is. Compared to the rest of the country that's dealing with, snow, severe thunderstorms in parts of Minnesota, I would say ours is looking really, really good. Rain chances are going to be low next couple of days. 20% on Tuesday. Our rain chances are going to kind of go up a little bit late next week. But other than that, temperatures upper 70s. We're getting close to 90 degrees on Monday. That sounds really good, doesn't it? 90 degrees in early March. So our forecast for next 12 hours is looking, it's nighttime, so it's going to cool off. And so our forecast for next 7 days, it's really nice. Weekend forecast looking pretty good. First weekend of spring break. I think it's gonna be a pretty good weekend. Pool wise, if you want to get in the pool, out to the beach, hang out with friends, 6 feet apart, of course, with masks. But the weekend forecast looks pretty good. 10% chance of rain almost every day for the weekend. Taking a look at our long-range outlook, this is kind of using the Lezak recurring cycle. So we can take a look at next, tropics. We can take a look at all kinds of things using the Lezak recurring cycle. And so I kind of put together a monthly outlook for next month or so. So the next few days are going to be nice. Up until, late next week is when we're going to see a threat for some severe storms move through. March is part of our, severe storm season. So, 19th to 23rd is when we could see some stronger storms kind of move through. And then again, on the 26th, we can see some storms move through. Other than that, everything looks pretty good. Lezak recurring cycle can also be used for tropical systems. So we kind of put together, a tropical, a list of hotspots that, we should keep an eye on for come hurricane season with some dates. And one of them is Florida. Another one is Louisiana, Texas. So, we're going to have to keep an eye on, I think, Florida hopefully will be okay during hurricane season, but I think, that threat is higher than average that we could see, tropical system come through. So, hopefully we fare pretty well for hurricane season, but, names, there they are. Hopefully we don't get into the Greek alphabet this year. Hopefully we don't, get anywhere close to worrying about the Greek alphabet. Average, 17 storms. So, hopefully our everything's looking pretty good. Let's take a look at our radar. Our radar is looking pretty good. Nothing picked up on the local radar other than just, some ground clutter. But let's kind of take it out a little bit and we can take a look through, Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota. They're seeing snow to the north. So that's always fun. Snow, ice in, Duluth. Parts of northeast or northwest, northwest Wisconsin, kind of eastern Minnesota. And then we had a tornado watch earlier in the night that a couple tornado warnings through the Twin Cities. But I think those are starting to, calm down. But there is this line of of thunder showers with, hundreds of lightning strikes. It's going to work its way, Wisconsin, Illinois, parts of, Missouri, all the way back into Kansas. But for us, our local radar is looking pretty nice. We can pull up temperatures. Hold on. Let's see here. Turn that off and turn that off. All right. So our temperatures right now, they're looking, we're kind of in the low 60s at the moment, but it's in the 70s near Tampa area, so that's pretty warm for this time of year. But let's take a look, kind of all across the country, and see where that snow is picking up on the radar. It's below freezing. But look at that, Chicago, 64 degrees. So they're warming up quick. It was only a couple weeks ago. They were in the 30s dealing with snow system after snow system. And now, Kansas City, 66. Houston is at 70. The border, 84 degrees. Warmer than it is in Miami right now. Even getting up into New England, 50s, 60s, and parts of Pennsylvania and New York. Still a little cold in Maine, and still a little cold across the like western United States into the Great Plains. But for the southern part of the country, kind of from Illinois down around Texas, we're looking, very, very warm. Our temperatures right now are looking pretty good. 63 right now. We still have... I'm going to pull up our future radar. Let's see here. Let's get this pulled up and we can take a look at Futurecast. There's not really going to be much to see because, like I mentioned earlier, our 7-day forecast is looking pretty good. Our 7-day forecast is almost perfect. Just gotta find the button that turns on the Futurecast, and I'll let load for a couple of minutes because it does take a couple minutes to load on up. So while Futurecast loads up, I'll go back to our 7-day forecast, and we can kind of talk about that, because our 7-day forecast is quite nice. Nothing wrong with being in the 70s and 80s, warmed up close to 90 degrees by Monday. I think the reason we're going to see some severe storms as we get late into the week, next week, is that we're going to be so hot, and the more heat there is, the more, the more fueled the atmosphere is. So with the more heat that's there, we definitely see that risk for severe storms. That's why, in the summertime we can get those pop-up storms that all of a sudden get very, very strong because it's so hot. Heat fuels thunderstorms, along with, a couple other things such as wind shear. But what we saw in Minneapolis. Say the reason it was snowing in northern Minnesota and tornado warnings in southern Minnesota is because it's so hot. It was so above normal. It was so warm in southern Minnesota that these thunderstorms were able to pop up and kind of get going. Let's go ahead and check and see if Futurecast is loaded up. It looks like it is. So here's a look at Futurecast. For us, at least, we're looking pretty good. Futurecast tends to pick up on these small things that it's just, there's not really anything there. It's just, picking up small little things. But we can take a look, there's a storm system going through the Midwest. That's going to push out. You know what actually would help to turn on? So So Futurecast is showing, over the next couple of days, this storm system we talked about over, Iowa, Minnesota. That's going to push out Illinois, move into the Ohio River Valley, and kind of push off the shore in Virginia, Maryland. And then another little storm system will fire up over, Colorado, Texas, parts of, Kansas, Oklahoma. I mean, we're getting into, severe weather season out in Oklahoma too, where, any thunderstorm in Oklahoma can produce a catastrophic tornado. We're getting into that time of year. February, March for them too is particularly severe. But I think, as we move on into May is a big time when, you really got to pay attention in Oklahoma. You got both May 3rd, 1999, and I believe it was, I don't know the date off the top of my head. I know it was in May. May 20th. I knew it was May 20 something. I just didn't know it was May 20th. May 20th, 2013 and May 3rd, 1999. Strong. Were they both F5? I think they were both F5. I know 2013 one was the EF5 tornado. I don't know that the May 3rd, 1999 one was. But I think they were. I think both of them were. Yeah. So the May 3rd, 99 tornado was so they were both EF5/F5 tornadoes. So, March, April, May, Oklahoma, you can get those storms to fire up and getting bad very quick. We're kind of moving out of our severe weather season. We're going to have that, risk as we move towards the end of the month because of the reason we get those the possibility for severe weather is the cold fronts that come through, especially looking at February, March is when we get a lot of cold fronts, and because our temps are warm enough, we can see those storms get nasty pretty quickly. But that's why 19th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 26th and 28th are days we're going to have to watch because they do bring that chance of severe weather. But as we go on in the as we go on in the summer, obviously that's kind of another time period with not only the tropics but those daytime thunderstorms that pop up and can get pretty nasty pretty quickly. But a lot of people don't know. I think that February and March are severe weather seasons in Central Florida. But two of the largest tornado outbreaks in Central Florida history have been in February. Yeah, I guess February and March, in particular February, which we're now out of. So I guess we've dodged February at least. But we a couple days or a couple weeks ago we just had the anniversary of the Groundhog Day tornadoes. I guess it was over a month ago now. Groundhog Day tornadoes that went through the land, and that was in 2007. And then 1998 Kissimmee tornado outbreak. A lot of people around here know it's the Niagara tornadoes. If you lived here, you probably remember that. I wasn't alive yet, so. But a lot of people, I've seen pictures, and it's just terrible. The devastation. It's something you don't expect in Florida. And Florida's never had an EF5 tornado, thankfully. But, we still get hurricanes, and we still get severe we still get tornadoes. And Florida is, I think a lot of people are surprised, though, Florida gets as many tornadoes as we do. I think, I heard the other day, Florida gets more tornadoes per square mile than any other state. And figure more in Tornado Alley. Thankfully for us, a lot of our tornadoes are weak, short-lived, and a lot of them start out as water spouts that just come on shore, and that counts as a tornado. But, we're not immune to these monster tornadoes. I don't know why I'm doing a TED Talk tonight on tornadoes in Central Florida. Because there's not even a risk or anything. We're going to have to keep an eye on a severe threat as we move